Warrior line, soul tribe, assemblies live. So come subscribe, your soul's in trial, or simply type. Soul medicine, it gets revived. The warrior line, soul tribe, assemblies live. It's friendly vibes. Soul medicine will give you life. You're a warrior, let's get this right. Warrior line, soul
on my mind. What's on my mind is something extremely contentious. People have a very visceral reaction to this, as I've experienced online, and I'm very persistent. I'm not going to give up on this. We'll frame it under the umbrella of performative allyship.
Okay.
Performative allyship is when you put BLM in your bio, listen to Black women in your posts. But we saw the election numbers. That is hard data.
Right. That's right.
We the 92% and 80% enjoyed zero credit for the work we did, because the other groups were so busy telling us, well, now we have to fight. Well, now we have to fight. No, you have to fight.
Right.
The beauty of being an intelligent Black woman, which I touched on earlier, is the ability to instantly discern, to instantly recognize, to instantly decide, this is not my fight to fight.
You're right.
I'm going to sit down, I'm going to close my mouth, and I'm going to let you do the work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you do the work. You get all of the blame. You did all of the damage. I'm just here. I don't have to do anything. You're doing it all yourself. That is this situation. Well, but we've been upholding democracy all this time. No thanks, no praise, no help. Where was our democracy? Where was our freedom? They were more than happy to reap the reward of our hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. But when it was our turn for a piece of the pie, there was no more pie left.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all allies now? How? How do you mend that? By telling us to take up a fight that isn't ours? For what? You didn't want it. You didn't want it. So here we are. The performative ally is a very dangerous thing in this current time, in this current climate, because we are all actively fighting fascism. All of us. The racism component is us v them, right? Mm-hmm. If you're white passing, it doesn't affect you. Mm-hmm. And any white passing person who denies this is a fool. We're not having a conversation. We're just not. Because it's performative allyship. If you cannot admit that, in this country, you have built-in benefits because of your skin. Mm-hmm. Our skin color is weaponized. Being an ally, they define it, not us. They've always defined it, right? I'm an ally, they put in their bio. BLM. Oh, okay. Did that matter when you were in the voting booth? Did it matter when you were having Thanksgiving and Christmas with your family before we voted? Were you having these hard conversations with your family? No, because the work, it showed, right? We all got the report card. And I'm almost in shock to see that Latinos voted almost similar to white voters. I'm not going to fight your fight. You can fight your fight. You love the culture, but you hate the people. I'm not going to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. You go ahead and do you. We are in very dangerous times. And so I think it's even more important that we really tune in to the people who are actual allies, right?
Mm.
Because there are a lot of white people who are allies and they are willing to do the work. And historically, this has always been so. One of the hallmarks that I'm seeing in performative allyship is when they adopt white supremacy toolbox, when they adopt the tools in the white supremacy toolbox. What is that? That's when you observe Black people, the way they speak, and you hear words that are being used in a way that's really different from what you know. So you tune into those words because you want to know, are they talking to each other about me in front of me? Mm-hmm. They're speaking English, but are they talking about me? And then you see the redefinition of that word, which is a really important thing to remember here, okay? White supremacy will take words that we've defined for our own internal conversations to one another and redefine it in their own way. We'll start with the word woke. The origin of the word woke started in the 20s. You fast forward, it became really, really popular in the 60s when the civil rights protests and the fight for equality was at its peak. Black people would tell one another to stay woke, right? Pay attention, you're in danger. Same language was used for slaves. They needed to stay woke, to stay alive. Who are we staying woke from? Who is it? White people. So the fact that they've taken this word that's part of our history, well, we're reminding one another that if you're the first or the only occupying certain spaces, you need to stay woke. Woke against what? What am I paying attention to in my surroundings? Who am I paying attention to in my surroundings? What is it am I protecting myself from? White people. There's never been any confusion about this. So then full-on racist white supremacists in the current administration take the word woke, bastardize it, and turn it into an insult. Okay? Mm-hmm. This is from the White Supremacist Handbook. Great. Get it. Got it. It sounds stupid. You've heard it many times. You hear it in the news. It's so embarrassing the way they try to steal our language and then feed it back to us. And then they do it with their own definition. So then you have the performative allies who are now putting the word woke in their bio. They're putting it in their handle or their screen names. And I'm confused by this because if you're an ally, did you just culture vulture steal a word that Black people defined for themselves? And you're redefining it with your definition, like a white supremacist, but you're arguing with me that no, my definition means I have humanity. I care about people. I only want good things. Wait a minute. I'm not going to get bogged down in the bullshit. Go back to my original point. Did you take a word that Black people intentionally used to communicate with one another in shorthand and you redefined it like the current white supremacist administration? Did you just do that? And you're supposed to signal to me that you're safe? You are literally the most unsafe person in the room. You're the mole. You're the one who's going to get all the intel from me about people like me and report it back to people who hate us. That's what that means to me. I'm confused by it. So further, First Lady Michelle Obama gave a beautiful speech about her husband, Barack. He's a great father. He's a great husband. He loves his country. It was such a beautiful speech. We heard her exact words come out of the mouth of Melania Trump. This is white supremacy in action. She literally stole words from Michelle Obama's mouth and claimed them as her own. As white people stole the word woke and claimed it and redefined it as their own. It's such a problem that the NAACP is fighting to reclaim the Black definition of the word woke. I invite you to look it up on the internet. I post it repeatedly on my timeline. The NAACP is tirelessly fighting to reclaim the word woke as it was defined by Black people. And they're very clear that it's a tool of white supremacy, the redefinition of it, the usage of it. I don't have to accept it. And this is one of the ways I see performative allyship. The other one, which we touched on when we were talking about sinners, Black fatigue. So the microaggressions that Black people endure just surviving every day, white supremacists have captured that word, redefined it, and claimed it for themselves. They're literally saying we're tired of Black people. And this goes deeper than culture vulture changing the definition of a word like woke. This goes far deeper. It's far more dangerous because they're outright asking for public acceptance that we're sick of Black people. Let's get rid of them, right? What else would be the purpose of saying that? I have Black fatigue. And I watched and I read the comments to the first white woman. And remember this is key. The first white woman who dared to show her face on TikTok, redefine that word that we've already established is an actual psychological detriment to our community. That we live in a world where the playing field isn't even, it isn't level, and we have to strategically navigate all sorts of situations. This white woman took that phrase, redefined it, went on the internet, showed her face in a TikTok and said, yeah, I'm pretty sick of Black people. I have Black fatigue. Is that an ally? No, it's not. Do I have to argue why? Apparently I do, because there's enough performative allies that require that explanation, but my humanity shouldn't require explanation. Their humanity doesn't require explanation. Why should that be expected of me or anyone who looks like me? It doesn't make sense. And so here we are. That's what I wanted to talk about, performative allyship. It isn't an attack. I'm not intentionally alienating people. I'm merely feeding back a very well thought out, introspective, well processed, reasoned question. Why do we tolerate performative allyship when performative allyship has repeatedly shown us they can't be trusted?
Warrior line, soul tribe, assemblies live. So come subscribe, your soul's in trial, it's simply time. Your soul medicine, it gets revived. The warrior line, soul tribe, assemblies live, it's friendly vibe. Your soul medicine will get